Here is your full Wrestling Zone 1 script, locked, loaded, and ready to detonate. Wrestling Zone 1 YouTube script. The Usos attack Roman Reigns and join Jacob Fatu. WWE Raw 2026 Acknowledgement Ceremony. Cold open, no music, no graphics, just the voice. The bloodline is dead. Roman Reigns built an empire and his own flesh and blood just burned it to the ground. No warning, no slow burn, no cryptic looks across the ring for 6 months while creative dragged their feet. Jimmy and Jey Uso, the men Roman Reigns humiliated, manipulated, and used as weapons for years, just looked the tribal chief dead in his eyes and chose Jacob Fatu. Let that sink in. Let it really sink in. Because what happened on Raw in 2026 is not just a wrestling angle. This is Shakespearean betrayal with steel chairs. This is the moment that every single fan who watched Sami Zayn get cast out, every fan who watched Solo Psycho seize power, every fan who watched Roman act like he could hold the bloodline together with nothing but a stare and a "I love you." This is the moment they've all been waiting for. And WWE almost fumbled it. But we'll get to that. Let it breathe. Before we go any further, drop a comment right now. Did you see this coming? Did you have the Usos turning on Roman in 2026 on your wrestling bingo card? Because I want to know, yes or no. Were you shocked? Comment it. Don't scroll. Pause and comment. We'll be here. Act 1, setting the stage. To understand why this moment hit like a freight train, you have to understand what the bloodline has been over the last 4 years. Roman Reigns didn't just have a title reign, he had a cultural moment. He redefined what it meant to be a WWE champion. He made Monday nights matter again. He made SmackDown must-watch television. He was the heel who was so good that half the audience cheered him anyway, and the other half hated him so much that they tuned in just to watch him lose, and he never did. The Bloodline was the most compelling faction in WWE since the NWO, maybe ever. I said what I said. Change my mind in the comments. But here's where WWE started playing with fire. When Solo Psycho took over and Roman stepped back, whether by creative decision or schedule, doesn't matter, the bloodline lost its gravitational center. Solo is talented. Jacob Fatu is a gene-rational freak of nature. But without Roman, the faction became a mob without a boss. It was powerful, but it was directionless. And the Usos, they were floating, unmoored, waiting for someone to tell them where they belonged. Jimmy and Jey Uso have been in WWE for over a decade. And in that time, they have been tag team champions more times than most people can count. They've carried Raw, they've carried SmackDown, they main event WrestleMania, and for 3 of those years, they did it all while being emotionally abused by their cousin on national television every single week. Let me ask you something, and this is a real question, not a rhetorical one. I want your answer in the comments. Do you think the Usos' best character work was as Roman's enforcers, or has 2026 given them the most compelling storyline of their entire career? Because I have a very strong opinion, and it might surprise you. Act 2, the Acknowledgement Ceremony. Now, the Acknowledgement Ceremony. WWE brought back the Acknowledgement Ceremony on Raw, and immediately, every wrestling fan with a brain knew something was wrong. Because you don't bring back the Acknowledgement Ceremony in 2026 without a purpose. You don't set that table without planning to flip it. The setup was perfect. Roman Reigns back in that familiar suit, back with that familiar music, back with that smug, measured confidence that made him the greatest character in wrestling for half a decade, standing in the ring surrounded by what remained of his family, asking for acknowledgement, demanding it, really, the way he always has. And for just a moment it felt like the old days. The crowd was buzzing. The Roman Reigns chant started mixing with the tribal chief chants the way they always used to. Even the haters leaned forward. That's called star power, people. That's what 20 years of this industry can build. You can take Roman off TV 4 months and the second his music hits, the building is alive. That is what WWE has been sitting on. That is the asset they have been protecting. And then Jacob Fatu's music hit. Act 3, Fatu enters and the air leaves the building. Here is where I need to give credit where it is absolutely due. Jacob Fatu has arrived. Not is arriving. Not showing potential. Arrived. This man walks to that ring like he was born to destroy things. The physicality, the intensity, the way he carries himself like a force of nature wearing human skin. Jacob Fatu in 2026 is what happens when gene-rational athletic gifts meet the right creative direction at the right time. He came out during that acknowledgement ceremony with Solo Psycho behind him, and the message was clear: this is not Roman's bloodline anymore. This is something new, something meaner, something that doesn't acknowledge anyone. And Roman stood his ground. Because Roman Reigns has never once in his life backed down from a fight, not in character, not in real life. He looked at Jacob Fatu the way a man looks at a wildfire, knowing it's dangerous, knowing it's coming, choosing to stand there anyway. Question for the comments, and I need everyone to answer this one. On a scale of 1 to 10, where does Jacob Fatu rank for you right now among WWE's top stars? Is he a legitimate main event player, or does he still need Roman Reigns to validate him? Drop your number. Let's debate it. Act for the attack frame by frame. And then it happened. Jimmy and Jey Uso were in that ring, standing behind Roman, playing their role the way they always have. And Roman, because Roman is Roman, probably felt safe. Because whatever sins he committed against his cousins, whatever manipulation, whatever emotional warfare, he is their blood. He is their family. He had to believe, on some level, that it protected him. It did not protect him. The moment Jacob Fatu made his move, when Solo started closing in, the Usos didn't step up to defend Roman. They stepped aside. And then they stepped forward, not to stop the attack, to join it. Jimmy Uso, the one who slapped Roman, the one who got kicked out of the Bloodline, the one who watched his brother almost ruin his marriage over this man's ego. Jimmy Uso put his hands on Roman Reigns, and there was nothing performative about it. There was rage in that. There was years of suppressed fury in that single moment. Jey Uso main event G, the one the crowd has been behind for 2 straight years. He didn't hesitate either. And that's what made it land. There was no reluctance, no tortured look, no I can't do this. He had made his decision, and the decision was Roman Reigns does not deserve their loyalty anymore. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, the greatest of his generation, was left laying in the middle of that ring, beaten by his own blood. I have to ask you this because the comments are going to be split down the middle. Was this the right time to pull this trigger? Should WWE have done this sooner, or did waiting make this moment hit harder? Tell me exactly what you think. Don't give me a safe answer. Bring it. Act 5, what this means for WWE.